All right, welcome to the live. It's gonna be short one, probably. All right. Okay. Moral Revolution, Chapter 3, The Great Escape. Here. I got my microphone. Probably be best right here. It was 1969, the height of the sexual revolution, and I was a freshman in high school in the Bay Area of San Francisco. One of the most popular girls in school sat next to me in algebra class. Little did I know that I would actually end up flunking my algebra class because of her. Mary, not her real name, was the head of JV cheerleader. She had long brown hair, blue eyes, and a great figure. Let me see. All right, now I can talk without the mask on. I couldn't keep my eyes off of her. My mind would go completely blank whenever she was near me. I was so taken by her that every night I would lie in bed imagining that what it would be like to ask her out. This is quite some book, huh? Several months passed and I finally got the courage to walk with her to class. She seemed so amazing. As the months passed, I gained more confidence and I finally asked her to be my girlfriend. She said yes. I couldn't believe that I was dating one of the most popular girls on campus. One day I told Mary I would walk her home, which I then learned was 2 miles from our high school, in the opposite direction of my house. When the last bell rang that day, I ran to her class to greet her. I was so excited to be with her. She emerged from the classroom. She offered me her hand. I took it, and we began the long walk to her house. I felt like the man as we walked down the busy street hand in hand. As we neared her home, time seemed to stand still. My parents aren't home today, Mary said with a silly grin. Oh, wow. I mean, we already see where this is going to go. I mean, it's literally called Moral Revolution, the naked truth about sexual purity. They're going to give a whole lesson on this. I'm betting on it. I couldn't figure out why she was telling me about her parents' schedule. I was so intoxicated with her that her comments went right over my head. We finally arrived at her driveway. My parents just bought a new waterbed, she said, breaking the silence again. Now she is telling me about their furniture. I thought it made no sense to me. Was she just trying to make small talk, or was there something significant about her parents' furniture? I just didn't get it. I walked her to her front door of her house, and we stood at the front porch staring into each other's eyes. As I leaned over to kiss her goodbye, she said in a seductive tone, "Would you like to come in and try out my parents' new waterbed?" Uh, Her words hit me like a ton of bricks. I was stunned. I stood there staring at her. I tried to form my words, but my mouth wouldn't cooperate. I didn't know what to think. It wasn't as though I didn't want her. Oh boy, I wanted her so badly. But there was something in me that didn't want it to be like this. My mind was flooded with thoughts, and it seemed to come over me from 100 different directions, and my soul was overwhelmed with emotion. My heart was pounding out of my chest. Part of me saying, "One of the most popular girls in the world, okay, just invited you to have, yeah, with her, dude. You are about to become one of the most popular guys in school. You are finally getting off the porch of purity and running with the big dogs." But another part of my brain was yelling, "Get out of here while you still can. You have been saving yourself all these years. Don't let this woman destroy your values." All right. The war inside of me was intense. I stood there for what seemed like an eternity. Then, without warning, took off running. I ran to the entire 4 miles home without stopping. I was so embarrassed and confused I could hardly sleep all night, wondering what she was thinking of me, and more importantly, what she was going to tell all of our classmates. I kept imagining a banner over the school lawn that read, "Chris." Okay, there. That's an interesting last name. The next morning, I couldn't find the courage to go to school, so I faked being sick the rest of the school week and stayed home. When I did return to school, I cut my algebra class for the rest of the year so that I wouldn't have to face Mary. Thankfully, in the 3 years following this incident, we went to school together. She never brought it up to me once. There was never a single rumor about it flying around school, and our mutual friends didn't ever talk to me about it. Looking back, I think Mary was more concerned about me exposing her than I was about being called a nerd. But 5 years later, on my honeymoon night in Santa Cruz, California, in a hotel room overlooking the beach, I had a completely different perspective. That night, I didn't feel like a nerd. Actually, I felt like a champion. I had resisted Mary, braved the social elements, and managed to escape a pit of destruction. To this day, I don't really know if it was divine intervention, my desire to stay pure, or the raw fear of failure, and that sent me running. But whatever it was, I can say now that with all honesty and gratitude that I have had with only one woman in my entire life, the woman of my dreams, my wife of 35 years, Kathy. Quite a long story. I can only read 2 more pages. I can't even read the full story. That's kind of sad. All right, here we go. Revolution has taken its toll and shifted the sexual morals of our culture. Most everyone growing up in our society today is being presented with far more opportunities to be presumptuous than I was. And our educational system is passionately intent on humbling our yeah, conscience, and even stripping away the natural convictions that we grow up with about sex. For that reason, I believe that young people today need more in their arsenal when it comes to navigating the sexual culture that I had. In short, they need a vision. There's an ancient Hebrew proverb that says, "Where there is no vision, the people are unrestrained or perish. But happy is he who keeps the law." Proverbs 29:18. The Message Bible reads, why do they word like that? If people can't see what God is doing, they stumble all over themselves. But when they attend to what He reveals, they're most blessed. You might ask, what does that have to do with purity? Great question. When the Bible is talking about the law, it is not referring merely to the Ten Commandments. It is speaking more generally about the law of restraint. In other words, when we have a vision for our lives, we restrain options to capture this vision. But if we have no vision, we perish or stumble because we end up spending all of our energy either trying to find pleasure or working to stay out of pain. Maybe it would be helpful if I could give you an example. Let's say I get tired of being overweight and decide that I want to have a great body. So I go to the local gym and work out for a couple hours. But the next morning, I wake up feeling like I've been run over by a Mack truck. There is only one thing that is going to get me back to the gym after that day. And that one thing is a vision for an awesome body. But without a vision, I will continue to sabotage my health by giving into my body's desire for comfort. Vision gives pain a purpose. It's vision that causes me to restrain my eating, rework my calendar, and reprioritize my life to capture the dream of the great having a great body. I will never build a great body for not by not wanting to be fat. It is vision that gives me strength to reorder my life so that I can achieve my goals. One of the greatest decisions we will. Oh my gosh! You know what? that I'm just gonna wait that out for a couple seconds. I'm betting no one's gonna see this, but still, not very nice. One of the greatest decisions we have to make concerning vision is how we envision ourselves. Therefore, the $1 billion question is, what do you think you are? Our behavior flows from the vision that we have for ourselves. Once we decide who we are, then we naturally work out our actions, attitudes, and behaviors to manifest our person. But if we don't settle this question in our hearts, then two things must often occur. First, we begin to look to other people to tell us who we are. This leads to oh my gosh, I'm trying to work on that. Talking on camera kind of makes me stutter. This leads to us becoming whatever others need to do to fulfill their imagination. Soon we find ourselves in the very dangerous place of developing intimate relationships with people so that we can draw strength and self and self-esteem from them. I don't mean that other people can't encourage us, but if we live to fulfill someone else's vision for our lives, we transfer the responsibility for our personal choices to someone else. This begins the unhealthy pattern of behaving to please people instead of living out the virtues that are rooted in our personal vision. This is especially true of romantic relationships. It is virtually important that we answer the question, who am I? Before getting into a romantic relationship with someone, otherwise, the relationship will be codependent instead of interdependent. A codependent relationship is created anytime our happiness. Why did they word like that? Well being or, oh, this is why. Well being or identity is predominantly dependent upon another person. When we give anybody this place in our lives, they become so powerful in the relationship that they take the place of God. This occurs most often when we lose sight of who we are. No, I don't. No more reading that for a little bit. I don't think we've had a single person watch, so aside from when they're scrolling. Alright. Da- Daily truth. Peer pressure taking on your brothers. For most people, being caught between an insecure bully on one side and a bunch of skeptical, jealous, critical friends on the other side is the ultimate social nightmare. It's a rare person who can stand up to both and do what needs to be done. David not only did it, he did it with so much style that everyone else in Israel looked lame. How did he do it? First of all, David never ran with the crowd. He hung out in the fields worshiping God and protecting his father's sheep, a vulnerable and valuable asset, much like your purity. From ravaging wolves, lions, and bears, he conquered his insecurities with God in private long before he had a face off with his insecure peers. Don't worry about being courageous. Doesn't mean, oh, wait, shoot. Don't worry, being courageous doesn't mean that you don't have to fear. It means that you don't let fear tell you what to do. It also means being a loner, winning the battle for your purity requires the support and strong community that calls you to a high standard. But if you want positive, peer pressure in your life, it's important to realize that it's created best by people like David who can think for themselves, know who they are in God, and do what is right, whether anyone else is doing it or not. David never ran with the crowd. Summary: David was the best friend. Wait, David was best friends with with the God of impossible. The insecurity of others couldn't shake his security in God. Sound wisdom. I sought the Lord and he answered me. He delivered me from all my fears. Those who look to him are radiant. Their faces are never covered with shame. There is no room in love for fear. Well-formed love banishes fear. Since fear is crippling, a fearful life, fear of death, fear of judgment, is one not yet fully formed in love. That was 1 John chapter 4, verse 18. Alright, here we go. Most people try to use things like anger, control, and uh, apathy to overcome their fears. But there is only one true antidote to fear: love. Only God's perfect love can set. Only God's perfect love can free you forever from your insecurities. And the good news is that all you have to do is receive it. David simply sought the Lord, and the Lord removed all his fears. Wow, can you imagine what it must feel like to have someone say something that totally wipes out your fear? Well, you don't have to just imagine. If God did it for David, He can and will do it for you. Casting your cares on the Lord is not a one-time deal. It needs to be a lifestyle, a growing skill of recognizing what and why you're afraid, confessing it to the Lord, and letting His love and truth align your heart with His reality. I think, how many days do I have to do? I have to do 3. I'm 3 days behind on this. That's gonna take like 2 hours. I probably shouldn't do that all on camera, especially if no one's watching. I'd much rather read this in my head than stutter over camera. um, but that's an insecurity for me. Got to do stuff that's not very comfortable to me. Growing up, I'm pretty certain I was the most insecure person I knew. Even my insecurities seemed to be insecurities. Have insecurities because because of several intense negative experiences with really close friends. I felt I was left feeling alone and worthless. Add those feelings to the jock style image that high school seemed to pound into everyone's head about what a real man looks like. I was pretty overwhelmed and alone because I wasn't involved with sports and I wasn't sleeping around like a lot of the others were doing. I honestly didn't feel like I met the quo of what was socially awkward. I honestly didn't feel like I met the status quo of what was socially awkward. I started being real with God about how I was feeling, that I didn't that I just didn't feel good enough, and that I even felt disqualified from pursuing future dreams as a result. I kept hearing God telling me these crazy things. I absolutely love you. I'm totally for you. I adore who you are as a man right now. I decided to try trust him with this. He drove his point home further by giving me the best, absolute best friends. They all kept reiterating what he was saying. They look at me in the eye and say, I fully believe in you. You have what it takes. As a result of this constant love and truth from God, and consciously making the choice to not give up hope and to keep believing His truth over my emotions, I now understand who I am so much more and I am able to be confident in who God made me to be, a man who is loved and has what it takes for anything and everything. His name was Chris, age 23, California, USA. All right, now we're on to the questions. Now for this daily truth, peer pressure taking on your brothers. A coward is incapable of exhibiting love. It is a prerogative of the brave. More than 20% of teens say that pressure from friends is a reason they send suggestive messages and images. You know what? That is 100% true. I completely agree with that. That's actually kind of why I'm staying away from one of my friends purposely. All right, first question. Finally, we all deal with fear and insecurity. The question is, are you aware of your fears and how are you dealing with them? Write down your 3 greatest fears or insecurities. 3 greatest fears? I definitely know one of them. Keep going. Thank you. That's what I plan on. Alright, I just have to write this down. Page 27. Answers. So my 3 biggest fears or insecurities. Well, I think my number one biggest fear I think it has to absolutely be hearing from God. What is it? I do not know you. Let's see. Let me just see if I can write that down real quick. Okay. Question 1. Okay. Number 1. Okay. Turn from me, I do not know you. Hello, how are you today? I'm just doing a book study about the book Moral Revolution, The Naked Truth About Sexual Purity. Answering the question. The question right now is, we all deal with fear and insecurity, right? The question is, are you aware of your fears and how are you dealing with them? Write down your 3 greatest fears or insecurities. No problem. Oh, I'm not even in the camera angle. That's kind of funny. I just realized that. Here we go. God saying, so my number one biggest fear has to be God saying, turn from me, for I never knew you. Or, actually, I forgot what the exact words were. But, I never. Honestly, though, I'm also, depart from me. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was trying to remember that. I don't know why I forgot that word. It's probably because I'm on camera, honestly. One big insecurity I definitely have, not my top 3 like what they're asking, but I stutter a lot on camera, so this is also kind of for me so I can get over that, I'm trying to get over that. And just being awkward in general, because in real life I am extremely awkward. I only sound smart over text. Let's just say that. Alright, number 2. What's my second? Yeah. I'm also homeschooled, so I have no way to break the ice because I'm almost never in public. I mean, we have our little home church here, so I actually don't I don't get to go to church. My family doesn't do church because they don't agree with a lot of things they do. Hmm. My second greatest fear or insecurity. Stage fright. My second. Also, answering these questions and reading this, just answering these questions, it's kind of telling you about me without telling you about me directly. Like, what are your three biggest fears or insecurities? I'm not just gonna write these down. I'm gonna say them out loud. So, like I said, God saying, "Depart from me, for I never knew you." Kind of. Um, Second greatest. Honestly, that would probably have to be. Yeah, bro. I hope you have a blessed day too. Honestly, my second greatest fear would probably have to be one of my younger siblings passing away. Gotta write that down. Sibling passing. Number three. What is number three? For number three, I'll do an insecurity because I've done two fears, no insecurities. Greatest insecurity? Um, Probably just my physical appearance or my mental appearance. I got hello. If you haven't ever seen my channel before, I am doing a book study right now about the moral revolution, the naked truth about sexual purity. I'm answering the first question of today. It is the question is, are you aware of your fears and how are you dealing with them? Write down three of your greatest fears or insecurities. Thank you, thank you. Um, I don't remember commenting on your channel just for a second. I'm sure when I bring it back up, it'll remind me. I'm just trying to figure out what this third question, the answer of this question is going to be. So my first greatest fear is God saying, "Depart from me, for I never knew you." My second is probably one of my youngest siblings passing away. The third one I'll do an insecurity because I only did two fears. It's probably it's probably my mental position, not my physical position. Mental health, not physical health. I think that might be my one of my I would say physical health, but I don't know. Alright, question two. What are three things you do when you feel afraid? Alright, I have to UEST two. Alright, three things. Number one, I don't panic when I'm afraid. Actually, it depends on what I'm afraid of, so I guess you could say I do panic sometimes. But not in the sense of running around everywhere. I spelled that wrong. Wow. I panic. Depends on what I'm afraid of, but panic, and then I pray. And number three is I ask. That's probably three things. So panic, pray, and ask are the three things I do when I'm afraid. But most of the time, it depends on the situation with the panic one. Like, say, I don't know, have to be something pretty major. Journal for guys. Alright, back into the book, I guess. From page 63 to page 66. Actually, not just do that. What? That's kind of confusing. This one. I know I'm supposed to read 2 chapters every week, which is pretty simple. How many have I read? I'm already done reading this? Alright, I ended at 63. How many chapters in this? Alright, there's 10. I unaccidentally read way more than I'm supposed to. By about double. Well, that's interesting. So I guess we're not reading the book anymore. I'm kind of caught up on that side quite a bit. So, next pages, I guess. Shoot, I could get day 7 done today. Just finished day 4. So we're on. Oh, I didn't finish day 4. Still have another question. Let's see. Wait a second. Did I comment on your video yesterday? I think I remember. Were you underneath a sound of YouTubers? It was like, I don't know. I forgot. I feel stress. I can usually identify the cause of stress. Yeah, I think that's extremely obvious most of the time. So, page 28. 28 answers. Let's see. Page 28 answers. All right. 1 through 5. 1 being strongly disagree, and 5 being strongly agree. When I feel stressed, I can usually identify the cause of stress. That's a 5. Number 1, period, 5. Number 2, number 3, 3, 4, 5, number 6. Period. All right, here we go. It is important for me to know how to face and manage my fears so I can be true to myself and to God. Yeah, I strongly agree with that. I make sure that my close friends aren't people who won't pressure me to do things that conflict my commitment to God. I would say that's a 4. Purposely distancing myself from certain people. Now, I care what people think of me, but I care more what God thinks of me. That would be a 4. I care more what God thinks of me, but I still have insecurities that I'm working on. I often confess my fears to God. Yeah, that'd be another 4. I don't really remember time I didn't, but I'm sure. I want to be a man of courage who consistently overcomes my fears and does the right thing. That'd be a 5. Total 15, 16, 27. That's crazy. Activation, big one. All right. I worship you. I worship you. You are here. I worship you. I worship you. This is day 4. Okay, now we're on to day 5. I would have been done with this probably like 20, almost 20 minutes ago if I didn't stay behind. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. day, week, week one, day, this is day 5, and page 1 of however many, most likely 1. Back to the reading. Alright, the $1 billion question is, who do you think you are? Our behavior flows from the vision that we have for ourselves. Once we decide who we are, we will naturally work out our actions, attitudes, and behaviors to manifest our person. That's on page 60. Alright. Daily Truth Vision. Finding one. Let me turn. Alright. Finding one or becoming the one. It's fun to fantasize about meeting the girl of your dreams, no doubt. The magical meeting will inspire all sorts of amazing feelings in you. That you can take on the world, that you want to be a better man, that you will do anything to have her, but don't make the mistake of thinking that you should wait for her. To inspire those feelings before you take on the world. Truthfully, it's pretty easy to get a girl. The real challenge is not finding the woman of your dreams, but becoming the man of her dreams. Role models are essential to forming a vision for the man you want to become. List of good character traits don't mean much until you see them into action. So before you ask who do I want to be, you should ask who do I want to be like. I mean, I think I already know that answer, but as you look for role models, remember that it can be tough to tell the difference between noble men and cool boys in a culture that defines success in terms of money and fame. Most of the cool athletes, actors, musicians, and Wall Street masters of the universe are just overgrown, insecure boys with the talent to create an image that looks powerful but has nothing to do with true character. You may have to look a bit harder for the real heroes, but they're out there. Who do I want to be like? Summary: find real heroes. Finding them is the first step to becoming one of them. I think I'm going to disconnect my headphones. Probably hear me better. And honestly, it's pretty annoying. With this, they have no padding on them, so. Look what God does, and then you do it. Like children who learn proper behavior from their parents, mostly what God does is love you. Keep company with Him and learn a life of love. Observe how Christ loved us. His love was not cautious, but extravagant. He didn't love in order to get something from us, but to give everything of Himself to us. Love like that. Ephesians chapter 5, verses 1 through 2. I think I just got a message. I'll look at it later. The world is desperate for men who love like Christ, extravagantly, not cautiously. Love is completely opposed to all forms of fear. Jesus modeled a fearless life. He bravely walked on raging seas, calmly rebuked demons, ferociously kicked the Pharisees' butts, uh, generously fed thousands, and then went to hell itself to wipe out the devil. Jesus was a man's man. How was he able to do all of that? Jesus knew who he was and whose he was. He takes great pleasure in helping you flourish, and if you let him, He will lead you into joy, the joy of being a man who brings strength to those around him, a man whose heart is free and alive with extravagant love. In order to do this, you need to see yourself the way God sees you. Once you can do that, your identity is sealed with him. Alright, real story. Being raised in a broken home, I lacked a role model through my childhood and most of my teenage years. Fortunately, after I started following Jesus at 16, I was surrounded by awesome men who inspired greatness in me. One of them was my pastor for 2 years. Although I didn't have a very close personal relationship with him, there was something about him that made me want to do better, to be a better man. However, the man who has shaped me the most is the man I have served for the past 2 years. He is he is both an amazing leader and amazing father. He has shown me how to do ministry well, well. But more than that, he has shown me how to do life well. One of the things I've learned from him is to truly believe in people. He sees people according to their potential, not according to their shortcomings. In fact, he believes in the people before they believe in themselves. Those who spend even a short amount of time with him leave feeling extremely encouraged. He is very intentional about speaking life over people on a daily basis. I now find myself calling out the gold in others as he did for me. This man has taught me how to live. This man. That's interesting. I suppose so. This man has taught me how to live life with a strong sense of purpose. He is known for being extremely intentional about everything that he does. He is purposeful about how he spends his time and who he spends it with. He lives in a way that tells you that he has an assignment. At the same time, those who are touched by him never feel like they are a project. This is because he has learned to keep the main thing, loving God and loving people. I hope that I have learned the same thing, and for him I am very, very thankful. That was Chuck, age 33, 34, and he lives in Canada. Just like God's mission. Let me put my mask back on. Yo, what's up, Adeline? I never did get how to spell your full name, because you said without the E, but there's so many ways to spell that, so I'm kind of confused there. If you don't mind telling me that. Today we are reviewing this book, Moral Revolution, The Naked Truth About Sexual Purity. It's a book study, and I am on day 5. I'm actually catching up. I was supposed to be finishing day 6 today. And it's been about an hour, so we've been doing this for only about an hour. And we're almost done. Alright, this is exactly how to say my name. No, not say it, I meant spelt it. Spell it. Alright, I'm gonna read the questions now. I'm gonna turn the camera so I don't have to have my mask on while I'm reading. Alright, don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. That was Howard Thurman. All right, according to a survey of adults aged 20 to 59, people have an average of 4 sex partners during their lifetime. Men have an average of 7. 7 isn't crazy. If you ask me, that's insane, not crazy. That's insane. All right, the first question. Describe 3 men, real or fictional, who are true heroes and lovers like Jesus. Number 1. All right, 1 second. I have to write this. Page 33. answers. All right. Okay, because I was gonna say your name the other day, but that just kind of looked wrong when I spelt it like that. I was like, I'm just gonna hold off until I, actually know. But now I know, so thank you. All right, page 33 answers. Let me reread the question. Describe three men, real or fictional, who are true heroes and lovers like Jesus. I would have to say number one is my older brother. Well, yeah, one of them, anyways. My shoot, I didn't write this. Questions. Okay. I was just making sure, double checking that I got that right. I kept spelling your name with an E though, because that's what your profile name says, at least. Like, let me come up close. Yeah. Okay, number one. All right. Older brother, number two. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. This live stream right now that I'm doing, it's really helpful for me because one of my insecurities is I stutter a lot when I talk on camera. I mean, you can't see my face, but every time I talk, I stutter when I'm on camera, and it's just not very helpful. Also, I'm a very awkward person in real life, so this helps me a lot for sure. I only sound smart over message. That's one thing about me. Number three. She wanted to name you with the E, or you're saying she's the one who wanted to name you Adeline? Without the E, of course, I meant. Kind of confused. True heroes and lovers like Jesus. I would say Colin. I think he is definitely a lover wise, at least. Colin Wesley Elliott. I think I know. That's how you spell it, anyways. Yeah, I don't have a speech problem in real life either. It's just when I talk to people, it's only when I talk to people. But when I'm reading a book by myself or I'm talking to people I know that are close to me, then I almost never stutter. So, all right, Colin Wesley Elliott. I really hope I spelled that right. Number three. I'll say, what's his name? His name is. Shoot, I forgot his name. Oh, she wanted to name you with the E. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I didn't know what you meant for a second. Colin Wesley Elliott, and then we have, what's his name? It's the same as the other YouTuber. What is it? What is it? Will. It's William. Yeah, that's right. All right, second question. I'm finally kind of slowly going through these questions. I just got to read what it says. Question 2. I don't know why I put an S there, but it's fine. How can you follow how can you follow set how can you follow the example set by these men? Number 1, I'll just say my answer by holding captive all my thoughts to the obedience of Christ. Of I think that's a pretty big part of that. All right. And just like that, we are almost done with day 5. All right, we got a vision test. If you guys don't mind answering this for yourselves. So 1 being strongly disagree, 2 being mostly disagree, 3 being agree somewhat, 4 being mostly agree, 5 being strongly agree. All right. I mean, you're a girl, but I want to be a man who lives for something greater than myself. So I'm gonna say that's a 5 for me. Obviously, it's for you. The question's a little different. It's I want to be a woman who lives for something greater than myself. This is I have to write this down. Page 34. 34 answers. All right, I'd put a 5 for myself. What do you guys think? I definitely want to be. It's the action part that's the struggle for me. So that definitely a 5. I want to be a man who loves people extravagantly like Jesus does. Yes, I definitely want to be. Yo, what's up, God's Mission? I just talked about you in one of my answers of my questions. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. In fact, look, this was the question. Describe describe 3 men, real or fictional, who are true heroes and lovers like Jesus. 3 of my answers. One of them was my older brother. Second one was Colin Wesley Elliott, and my third question was that my third answer was actually you. I forgot the numbers, but probably the higher or middle one, very much so. Yeah. The numbers are 1 being strongly disagree, 2 being mostly disagree, 3 being agree somewhat, 4 being mostly agree, and 5 being strongly agree. So basically, just remember the end numbers. You got 1 is strongly disagree, 5 is strongly agree. And that is it. Here we go. So I'll just recap the numbers real quick in case God's Mission wants to answer them. I want to be a man who lives for something greater than myself. I put a 5 because I strongly agree with that. This mask keeps slipping off. Then there's I want to be a man who loves people extravagantly like Jesus does. I put a 5 because I do want to be that man. I want to become the man deserved by the woman of my dreams. 100%. I don't think I've ever had all 6 questions all 5s because I have never strongly agreed with them all 5 times. All right, I want to be a man who can take responsibility and commit to things. Yes, 100%. We got a 4. That's number 4. That's 5. Now, am I that man? I would put probably a 3 or a 4. That's not because I'm kind of. All right. I want to be a man who can fight for a worthy cause. Yeah, I know my worthy cause. This is probably the first time that all 5 are going to be 5s. Fight for the worthy cause. I want to be a man who can love a good woman fully without withholding myself from her. That's another 5. That is the absolute first time that I've ever had all answers in 5, so that'd be a 30. I think that's the first time. All right, I have to fix my mask. It really muffles the way I talk, and it's kind of annoying. Total score. All right, now we're on day 6. I accidentally read 2 chapters ahead in the book, so I don't have to read the book for day 6. So there's that. I just gotta fix my mask real quick. You know, my mask isn't even a mask. Look at this. It is a pillowcase. It is a folded pillowcase, and it goes and ties behind my head. That's. I lost my actual mask. Actually, though, I think I like this better than my mask, because my mask was more annoying than this one. Oh no. 100% I'm not. I am way up here in Alaska, so you're not. I don't think you know me by far. Aside from our conversations online. You know, it's kind of funny. I had a viewer that wasn't, that was just someone randomly scrolling. So I just like stuck in this position. I was like, for a good like 2 minutes, just staring at them. All right. On to day 6. We're not going to talk about that. That was kind of funny though. They didn't comment, they just left, which I kind of wanted them to. I was actually trying to do that for something else. Page 1 of 1. All right, bro. I'll see you later. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Total score. Page 30. All right, page 30. Yeah, I just have to write my full name real quick on this stuff. It is 0. Today's date. Today's date is September 14th. 09/14/2025. Saturday. Sunday. No, it's Sunday. Let's see. Week 1.
Yeah? Okay, 1 second.
Evening. I have to go for a split second because my father wants me. Page 1 of. All right.
Let me just turn off my camera real quick.
And mute myself. Be right back. Alright, here we go. Just got back from camping. Nice. I think I haven't gone camping in the longest time. Those things are crazy. Is it a family? Oh, that's right. No. I already knew about that. That's right. You mentioned that in the other conversation. How did that go with your grandparents? Because it didn't sound like it was going well. I hope you turn that around for sure. Yeah. A lot of people consider camping just out in their camper in some random camping spot, and it was interesting. I don't know. That's not what I consider camping. Camping's more like just out in the woods, kind of setting up your tents, not an RV, but or you could set it up on the beach. Yeah, no problem for the verse. No problem for the verse. That's definitely one of my favorite right there. Yeah, it is. I can't go camping all the time though, so the thing aside from social media is I'm already kind of detached from the world because I never get to like roam around and see people. You're in a cabin. Well, if you're in a cabin, I would say it's not camping. It's more like a vacation than camping. I mean, camping can be a vacation, but I think you know what I mean. Like if you were leaving your house to go to a cabin in the woods, I think that's more of a vacation than camping. All right, I sound muffled again because Homeschooled group on Friday. Yeah, I don't have homeschool groups. Just you guys seeing this? Oh shoot, that's the other end of my pen. My hair is normally some of the flattest thing you can ever see. I just have hair clay in it. It's kind of funny, and it just holds it up like that. Hiking? I mean, hiking is just like if I were to go to a mountain we have here, it's kind of more of a hill than a mountain, but it's still really tall. You could just hike for 2 hours and then go right back home. But if she's like actually staying the night there, it's in church though. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I bet 100%. So it's kind of like a youth group in that case. Just probably more a little bit more towards the learning sense. Alright, I'm gonna get to the reading. So I'm gonna turn the camera because I don't like reading with the mask on. I sound really muffled. It sounds like someone's plugging my nose. Alright, virtues help us live from the inside of outside. Oh wait, shoot. I need to restart that. Bad habits? Let me think real quick. Shoot, I have one habit, but you said bad habits, so I gotta think of the other ones. What's one bad habit? Probably engaging more with the people I have at home. Well, at least a certain person I have at home. So that takes patience. So I would say I just need more patience when it comes to that part. Oh, same. Washing my hands too much. Oh, you guys are saying like habits in general. Okay, I was thinking something else. Bad habits? I gotta think to answer that. Just think back to what I've been doing. Honestly, it's probably just not getting up and doing something right away when I'm told. It's kind of a stall. Kind of stall that. It's not very good. Let me see. Let's see. So, 1 second. Let me change the camera's view. Guys, look at it outside. It's already spring. Should I have to open my window? Look at this. These leaves are turning yellow already. It's
pretty sunny day today, though. Yeah, you got leaves falling out of the trees that you can see. I mean, I would say that just means school's around the corner, but I already started school. I have to fix my window. It's not very. My phone's at 20%. DX. Easy. DX. That's at full capacity. How would it be if I just closed my blind? Now you guys can see better. I like this better, actually. Alright. Now I'm going to turn the camera again. I'm going to restart this. This is day 6, beginning of the learning study guide for anyone who's newer here. We're reviewing the book Moral Revolution, The Naked Truth About Sexual Purity. Interesting book given to me, but I'm just going through it. Okay, day 6. Virtues help us to live from the inside and out. Wow. See, I'm doing it again. Virtues help us to live from the inside out instead of from the outside in. No longer do I live by other people's rules. Instead, I live by values that guide my attitudes, which I turn determine my choices. Choices dictate my behavior. My behavior becomes a manifestation of my personhood, and my personhood leads me to my destiny. All right. Now we got Daily Truth, Virtues, Part 1, laying out your life, your boundaries. Lay out your boundaries, y'all. Here we go. I mean, it's kind of just about exactly what it says. It's just the naked truth about sexual purity. It is from Bill Johnson. And it's just a study book. There's a men's and women's version. Obviously, I have the guy's version. Alright. Daily Truth, Virtues, Part 1, Laying Out Your Boundaries. Jesus lived from the inside out. He said, I freely lay down my life, and so I am free to take it up again. No one takes it from me. I lay it down on my own free will. John chapter 10, verse 17 through 18. MSG. He was in full command of his choices. Life was not happening to him, he was happening to life. Jesus often pointed out that his choices were fully aligned with whatever his father was going and saying. This central relationship with his dad defined the boundaries of his choices from day to day, moment to moment. Though constantly confronted by many things, the needs of people, pressure from his disciplines, oppositions from the enemy and religious leaders, and even his own needs and desires that could have led him to act apart from the relationship with his father. He never gave in to them. He was able to say no to everything that his father was not asking him to do, even things that looked good, holy, and important. All right. And Jesus set the example for you. Your primary responsibility is to align your virtues with his and walk in a close relationship and partnership with him, doing and saying what he is doing and saying. The beautiful thing is that the boundaries of your relationship with him will make you free and powerful. He is a free and powerful God. And when you join him in what he is doing, you can't help but become free and powerful like him. Jesus set an example for you. Summary: align your virtues with what Jesus is doing and saying. Hi, baby. What are you doing in here? No, you gotta stay out. Okay? You gotta go upstairs. Yeah, I'm making a video. Yeah. Mommy's downstairs? Yes. Do you want to go say hi to her? You want to go say hi to her? No, my mom is here. Yeah, I know your mommy's here. Well. Alright, let me see if I can turn off my camera real quick. My baby sister came in the room, guys. 1 second. Baby. Thank you very much. Yeah? Yeah, Mom? Mom? Yeah. I'm almost done with what I have to do today on the book, so I'm just going through it. I kind of left you guys. Surprised you guys are still in here. Alright. It is 4:02 here. I don't think I can type in chat without using a different device, though, right? Alright, I'm gonna go eat some food soon. Ooh, sounds like a great dinner. Yep, by far, 100%. Way over here. Behind me. Let's see. Maybe I should put up a poll. Just start. Alright, where do I? Yes, today. One thing you can improve on today. First day of homeschool. Oh, I don't know why I pinned that message. That was a total accident. Good or no good? Just anything. I'm staying kind of quiet. Freedom me Bible. Sounds like a plan to me. Alright, sound wisdom. Now that we know what we have, Jesus, this great high priest with ready access to God, let's not let let's not let it slip through our fingers. We don't have a high priest who's out of touch with our reality. He's been through weakness and testing, experienced it all, except the sin. So let's walk right up to him and get what he is so ready to give. Take the mercy, accept the help. You missed what? First two. I haven't been keeping up with the chat. I missed whatever you missed. All right. I'm going to continue with this. The center of any plan to align with your virtues, choices, and boundaries with Jesus must be spending regular, frequent time with Him. These encounters and conversations build your connection with God. We are being. For sure. I'm just going to continue reading this book. I might be on. I don't know how long you'll be on though for. Let's see. These encounters and conversations build your connection with God, which is the true source of your power to live within His boundaries for your life. God doesn't want your boundaries to be motivated by fear or breaking the rules, but by your desire to protect and deepen your heart-to-heart connection with Him. As you set boundaries to prioritize your life with God, remember that they will be tested. And you need this testing in order to grow strong and skillful in keeping those boundaries. Always remember in every test that Jesus has been there before you, knows exactly what you're going through, and has strength, encouragement, and comfort to offer you. He invites you to come boldly to Him and ask for help in any and every situation. Real story. This story is about a man named Ben, age 23, and he was located in the California, USA, at least when this book came out. Real story. I grew up with a skewed idea of boundaries. I learned that saying no to a request for help was bad it was taught by my family and the general culture around me that if you say no, you are selfish, and you should always put everybody else's needs before your own. I didn't have much of a concept of putting my need for rest before another's need for help. Those things coupled without, oh my gosh, yeah, this is my stuttering problem I'm talking about. Those things coupled with not knowing my value made saying no to someone pretty much the most difficult thing ever. Relationships became stressed. I would end up resenting a person asking me for something, and resenting myself for not saying no. As I began to discover how valuable I really was, I learned to make myself a priority. I was freed to say no. This began a upward cycle of self-worth where I said no because I valued myself. Every time I said no, I acknowledged how valuable I was, which improved my self-worth even more. This also helped keep my relationships from de- deteriorating. In fact, it actually improved them. I stopped resenting people because I could say no, which in turn presenting people with an opportunity to express their love for me by respecting my boundaries. Those stutters only happen on camera, it's crazy. Alright, Daily Truth Virtues Part 1, Laying Out Your Boundaries. If you have built castles in the air, your work need not be lost. That is where they should be, not put the foundations underneath them if you build castles. Yeah, that was Henry David Thoreau Walden. 1 in 2 teens who have been in serious relationships say that they've gone against their beliefs in order to please their partner. That doesn't surprise me. Interact. Alright, this is where the questions are about to come up. Read these words of Jesus that specifically addresses boundaries for sex, then write 1 or 2 sentences down expressing personal virtues that are based on his words. Alright, I'm back. I just left for a split second to see if anyone was at my door listening from the other side. That's kind of common. That's probably kind of common. Ooh, this is day 6 is filled with things. Alright, question number. Let me reread this. Read these words of Jesus that specifically address boundaries for sex, then write 1 or 2 sentences down expressing personal virtues that are based on his words. Wait a second. Can I do this? If I switch the camera, I give you guys my point of view. Then I don't know how that looks. Let me go on my other device to watch my live stream. Alright, let's see. This is my point of view. This is a really awkward position, but I figure this would be better. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I need to put this in a better position. 1 second, guys. It's not long enough for this part. Let's see. If just I had that stand. I guess maybe I could just hold it the whole time. Like this. Zoom out. Alright, here we go. Question. Let me move this. I can't see the question. Alright, there we go. But I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her or in his heart. Matthew 5:28 NIV. Let me reread this. Read these words of Jesus that specifically addresses. One or two sentences. Let me see if I can put this in the position again. My camera's slipping. Page 101. Question 1. My answer is going to be Alright, my answer to question is my virtues are Jesus' virtues, so I completely agree. Kind of dropped. That wasn't very good. Alright, question 2. Let me write this down. Question 2. Give you guys a better close-up image on this. I think I'm going to make this. Can I make this smaller? Okay, there we go. Alright, but I tell you that anyone who divorces his wife except for marital unfaithfulness causes her to become an adulteress, and anyone who... I don't remember reading that, but that's pretty interesting. Let me reread that for you guys, because I kind of went silent for the other half. But I tell you that anyone who divorces his wife except for marital unfaithfulness causes her to become an adulteress, an adulteress, and anyone who marries a divorced woman commits adultery. The thing about that is there are other verses in the Bible that also further explain this. That it says in a different chapter, I believe, that if you are a young woman, and you've been divorced, it would be better if you were to get married again. But if you're old, they said you should probably stick around. My answer to this, I guess that was my answer, wasn't it? I guess. What do you guys think on the topic? Because that certain type of verse, that corresponds to many verses. It doesn't just stop right there. But we're not going to go from the copying. Nice. Yeah, I think I'm going to be eating some ramen for lunch after this. Question 3. All right, these are much bigger than the other questions. Haven't you read in your Bible that the Creator originally made man and woman for each other, male and female, and because of this, a man leaves father and mother and is firmly bonded to his wife, becoming one flesh, no longer two bodies but one. Because God created this organic union of the two sexes, no one should desecrate his art by cutting them apart. That is Matthew 19, 4 through 6, MSG. Now, what are my thoughts on that? These are just, I have really simple answers to this. And it's that my first answer is pretty much the answer to all these questions is my virtues are Jesus's virtues, so I completely agree. I think. So that is that question. All right, now we're on to the next pages. All right, bro. Means is a little bit. Sure, I gotta flip. No, this is not a very good look. Trying to do that with one hand. All right, virtues test. Let me turn this around so you guys can see this. 1 being strongly disagree, 2 being mostly disagree, 3 being agree somewhat, 4 being mostly agree, and 5 being strongly agree. All right, first question: living out of virtues. Wow. Yeah, I'm having that stuttering thing again. Living out of virtues should not be roles driven, but relationship driven. Living out of virtues, relationship driven. I'm gonna give that a 3 because I think there should be. Actually, yeah, I think it's kind of in the middle. It's relationship driven, but there has to be roles. And if you guys don't mind, I would like to see your guys' answers on these questions as well. Because these ones are the more simpler ones. You just give 1 through 5 on how much you agree or disagree. I'm going to have to say, I have to write this down. Page 40, answers. All right, number 1 is a 3. Okay, number 2. I set boundaries to protect my relationships, especially my relationship with God. Yeah, I do. I should set more boundaries though, so I'm gonna put a 4 instead of a 5. All right, number 3. I want to live from. Let me get a better camera angle on this. I want to live the inside out and take responsibility for all my choices. That's a want question, so I know that's a 5. It's a 5. I want to be number 4 is I want to be a person who refuses to give up my virtues even when I fall short of them. Yes, especially when they're the right virtues. So I'm gonna put a 5. I want by number 5. Wow. I want my values and priorities to line up with the values and priorities of Jesus. That is definitely a 5 right there. And number 6, last question. I don't is I'm committed to knowing Christ and learning to live like him as we walk in a relationship together. I am committed, but I think I could be more committed. I think you guys understand what I'm saying. So I'm going to put a 4 right there. That leads the total. Now, if you guys want to, you guys can give your answers on these questions, but those, in fact, are the last questions of today. I'll be doing the same book study tomorrow, but here, 1 second. Guys, 1 second, I'm doing something. I totally forgot to say, but did I just show my face? No one's watching, so I'm kind of hoping I didn't. I might have to clip that. Let me turn off my camera real quick. I totally forgot. Oh, I didn't. Okay. Never mind. It's all good. I didn't show my face on camera. I just reviewed the footage. I just reviewed it. Okay, here we go. Totally forgot to tell that guy to God bless him too, but I didn't. I had to translate that because I know very few Spanish. I don't know Spanish. Yo hablo no inglés. I mean, no español. No español. Anyways, that is the last questions of today on this book. So, after catching up 3 days, a 2-hour stream, I am actually done with that for today, which is really nice. And I finished it all before 5 o'clock, so. Packing everything up. I'll turn on my camera. Yeah. It's beautiful, ain't it? You guys get to see the masterpiece that is my bed. I mean, no one's watching the stream right now, but it is still a masterpiece. You guys get to look right here for a split second. Natural lounge. Here we go. Wow, it holds it by itself now, huh? That's pretty interesting. Yo, nice. I just got done with the book study. We're completely finished with that. And I'm just touching up my room, putting all my books away. I almost showed my face. I had to review some footage. Don't worry, you didn't even get a glimpse. The only person who's ever seen my face online was a guy that I was on actually live streaming during. The beautifulness that is my bedroom. It's crazy. I mean, I have really nothing else to do, so I guess I'll just give a little tour right there. Obviously, those are my initials, because that's where I get the, market edits from. And, I mean, I did it pretty badly, but I have a, what is it called? Oh, 3D printed pencil. And I made that, and I just hung them each on the wall. And then I got this painting. I also recently got this. And it's actually shirt design that I made, but this is in painting form. So it says God made everyone built different and has the whole cross kind of blurred. And down here it has a verse. Did I just show my face? You know what? Let's back that footage up. You saw nothing. Please don't back that up. I think my camera was, I think my camera was in the way. No, I did show my face. I did. I just looked at the footage. And now I have to clip it. But you're the only one watching, so just don't mention it later. I have to clip that, though. You saw nothing. That's the second time I've done it while someone was actually watching. I did the other time literally yesterday. Or the day before that, I think. Well, apparently I'm blind. Well, just don't restart the footage. Let's see. We got this little piece of paper right here. Anyways, John 14:16. Jesus saith unto them, I am the A. We honestly spelt it wrong. The truth and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. That was interesting. I mean, I don't mind if one of you guys see it, especially someone who I trust more online. Like, I trust you more online than I do other people. So, there's that. And also, I'm really not trying to like downgrade it here, but I know you're like 12 years old, so it's not like you're gonna do anything to me. But that's my parents' fear, not mine. That's why I can't show my face. I'm assuming, anyways. That's Royce. That's Royce. All right, what I'm gonna do real quick is let me check something out. I'm going to bring up some Mr. Ballin real quick, and you guys are gonna hear a quick story. Let me find him real quick. Mr. Ballin, Mr. Ballin. I mean, I think that much was obvious. I think, anyways. Well, here we go. All right, we're gonna listen to this story. I like to stay up. I have late nights watching this guy explain his stories.
A junior in high school was home alone working on a paper while his parents were out to dinner. All night, he sits with his back to his door, sitting at his desk with his noise-canceling headphones on. Around 11 o'clock, he takes his headphones off at the same time his parents are returning to the house, and he hears his mom from downstairs yell, "Hey, Adrian, what happened?" Confused, he runs downstairs and sees right away what she's looking at, muddy footprints all over the rug. He tells her, "I didn't leave my desk." And then they realize someone must have broken in. They look at the footprints and there's none leaving the house. They're worried someone's still in the house, so they run into the garage, terrified, call the police. Police arrive and they don't find anyone in the house, but they do make a chilling discovery upstairs. The police bring them to the kids' bedroom door, which had been left open all night, and they point to the message written on it in Sharpie.
So the messages were, I see you. You forgot to lock the back door. You seem focused. Turn around. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
Actual transcript of what was written on his door, which means for nearly 2 hours, someone stood in this kid's doorway watching him.
Interesting story. Lock your doors, especially in the lower 48. Something's telling me. Be a little careful down there. Lower 48 being the lower 48 states, which you live in, the lower 48. So, wait a second. Can you see anything from like that? Okay, you cannot make out what that is. So you do not know my full name and you do not know where I live because that is just too blurred. Look at that. You can't see it. Not that marking. That right there is just a marking. And then those are all markings that my mom put up here. So, all right, I'm gonna have to end the live stream in like 3 minutes because someone's calling my name. I don't know what they need yet, but it's gonna be interesting. Oh, another thing is, look at that. Don't you just love having a broken door? It's beautiful. Shoot, my dad's coming downstairs. I think I might have to end right here. Here we go. I don't know what else there is to do. Because most of the time, by the time I'm this far in the live stream, first of all, 2 hours is kind of, I almost never go 2 hours. I don't think I've really ever done that. Second of all, even if I do make it this far, I never have a viewer. My handle is gone on that door. Yeah, it's the thing though. It's not that the doorknob is broken. The door itself is broken. Like, it can't hold in the doorknob. The wood inside of it is shattered. So it's just there. And I had blue tape and it held for a while, but then from how many times we opened the door, it just broke off. Now we're here. Oh. I should probably get out of this. Oh shoot, that's a mirror. I should probably get out of this room because just looking, especially with the blinds closed, just looking right there just makes me want to go to sleep. Here we go. Maybe I can start something. I can grab my 3D pen. Alright, so I think I'm going to do something for subscribers that are like, I don't know. You have one of the most comments on my videos. So I think I'm gonna do for people that have the most comments, or not the most comments, but like have stuck around the longest. Instead of just writing people's names down like I've seen a lot of people do, I think I'm gonna print them. All right, this is LED right here, not LED. Sorry, I forgot the name for a second. But basically, this is glow in the dark. I use this black one. But that's what I use to make the Jesus sign right here, which isn't very well made, but we don't talk about that. But I think I'm just going to print out people's names here. Kind of like a shout out, I guess. Did I show up here on my camera? I really hope I didn't. I'm just looking for something. Looking for my 3D pen. Well, it's kind of gone. So whenever I find it, which it shouldn't be hard, my room's pretty organized, I'll bring it up. I mean, it's kind of organized anyways. Alright, now we're back to the simple questions because I have nothing to do right now. How's you guys' day going today? I know it's like 8 o'clock for you. It's about to be 9 and you're still watching. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it has a lot of flaws up close, but it doesn't look as bad on camera. Especially since I don't ever do it. Right there. You know what's insane? I never had my own room. I mean, it's not insane, but what after this is what insane. The insane part is, okay, let me restart this because I need to reword that. I never had my own room until I turned about 14. No. Yeah, after 14 is basically when I got my own room for the first time. And this is a really big house. But my room was so empty. This queen size bed, it's from my brother. That blanket, that's from my sister. This blanket, this is from a friend. This blanket, I mean, that's just my blanket. These pillows from my older brother. These other pillows from my older brother. This bedding from my older brother. More bedding from my older brother. Even the sheets from my older brother. I just got all this stuff, and it's insane. That painting, it's not my painting. Um, I'm just holding on to it until my older brother takes it. I mean, I have all those books, but this desk, older brother, or no, older sister. Everything I have in here is literally a gift. Heck, even part of my coin collection. This is only part of it, but then of course there's the map, and then that note up there. But literally everything I have is a gift. I mean, look at this bag. It's crazy. It was like, and the thing was, it was as soon as I started improving my relationship with God, all this stuff just started flooding in. It's insane. My older brother's here, and I have to go. Alright, I am so sorry. Sounds like I have to go. Thank you for watching 100%. My brothers are hanging out in my room right now, so I can't really live stream anywhere else. It says I have one viewer, so I'm assuming it's you. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Alright, I'll talk to you guys later. I think I'm going live tomorrow, so 2.5 hours. Alright, I'll see you guys. Okay.